This video is part 3 of 4 in my recommendation series. Today, I'm going to give you 5 books/resources on non-dual advanced meditation teachings. There's this idea in meditation that you can transcend the usual way it feels like to be you. You can feel much more peaceful and much less limited to just the confines of your body. If you're interested in that, these are 5 resources which will help you make that shift. My first suggestion is Waking Up, or the Waking Up app. This resource is just becoming a very good resource for modern day scientifically minded skeptics about meditation. Sam Harris is the creator of this piece of content, and he's trained with some very adept Tibetan Buddhist teachers, and actually I've trained under some of the same people now. The Waking Up book and the Waking Up app is about making meditation completely accessible without any other dogmas or doctrines, making that insight available as our method of meditating. The argument with the Waking Up app is that we can see that insight and take that as our predominant form of practice. There's a lot of content on there these days with great modern day teachers. Next up on the list is Locke Kelly. You can find Locke Kelly on YouTube, and you can also read his book, Shift into Freedom. I think that's his latest one. In my experience, his words are a little more ambiguous, but they're a bit more spacious and formless, and you more sense this shift through being rather than understanding. In my experience, there's also 2 types of people who will relate to these different resources better than one or the other. There's a lot of ideas with non-dual teachings that you need not necessarily understand all this, because the understandings are irrelevant once you can arrive in that place. So potentially just figuring out how to arrive in that place and having a sense of being in that place, that could be the predominant way that we move forward. Number 3, probably one of the most, I don't know if you can say iconic, but famous or most utilized Buddhist texts, the Heart Sutra. Of course, the writing of the Heart Sutra will be a bit alienating for us if we're new to ideas of non-duality, but the Heart Sutra is a very short read, so you can do it today. And it's a good one just to have in your mind, because it's really one of the standout Buddhist texts which clearly reveal or speak about the nature of consciousness, the nature of mind. They're calling it emptiness. That text really clearly speaks about that, gleaning this new way of being, or this new insight into the nature of our experience. There's also good chants which are derived from that text, or mantras, so you can also meditate on that text. Number 4, I Am That by Nisargadatta Maharaj is a series of questions and answers with this famous Indian sage. It's been deeply influential in non-dual conversations, and the question and answer form makes it very captivating because it is just students asking their own questions along the path and getting answers from someone who is maintaining the line or is really speaking embodied in their responses. It's clear from their responses, how they word them, that the relationship to non-duality or consciousness, experience, being, no self is strong, and where those words are coming from. And this time the teachings are coming out of a non-Buddhist context, more of a Advaita Vedanta context, which is really the other predominant non-dual contextually Indian philosophy out there. And they've very much got an approach which leads to the exact same end, but what they emphasize and focus on is unique to their system. So between the Heart Sutra and I Am That, we're in good stead. And especially when we then add in my final recommendation, which is Fearless Simplicity by Tsokyi Rinpoche. Fearless Simplicity is rooted right in a Tibetan Buddhist context. The Heart Sutra is a Mahayana Buddhist context, which is distinctly different from Tibetan Buddhism. Fearless Simplicity is very much how I approach non-duality and advanced meditation, and recognizing this shift in my being. It's what I spend the most time learning about, and it's how I practice. And whilst those other resources will definitely build you up over time, Fearless Simplicity is one book which will move through pretty systematically meditation. There's a bit of a learning curve there because, as I say, it is an advanced book and there are some concepts which aren't entirely explained, but at least on this list, this is one resource which, after one consumption of it, you'll have some idea of what you're doing. And then you can go into either any of those avenues and you should end up as a nice enlightened being. I think sometimes with meditation we want it to be too simple, we want it it to be very calm and polite and easy, or we just want the answers to get into really deep meditation. But in my experience, meditation is not too much different from any other skill you learn. Over time, you learn more, you get better, then you unlock new skills or new practices, and then you keep training there. And therefore, I think it is a long run, but identifying that it is training, I think that's very essential. That way we're not fooling ourselves into what the task is to really transform ourselves. These resources, amongst others, will help us practice really sufficiently. And I think that's what we need to do, ultimately, if we're interested in this pursuit. So may we all remain motivated and inspired to reach the final frontier along this intrepid journey, this interesting landscape of advanced meditation practice. May we all be precise and impeccable. May we be proficient. And then, shall we all not come to know such wonderful ways of being?
If Sonam Hani has helped you, please consider supporting for the benefit of others. Establishing a base engagement is the biggest hurdle for new ideas.